Continue. Hey, after we just got done mocking children, it is April 22nd and also the 21st for kids who missed it yesterday, as we're going to get into talking about the end part of gospel and all kinds of issues and yelling and talking and fun stuff like that. Let's see, those of you who have not finished book yet, it's not the end of the world, but realize we're talking about end of the book. So we're going to be talking about Josh faking his death and then what happens afterwards, his relationship to Peter, what happens with Beth. We're getting into all of those bits and pieces. Plus, your e-learning is not the doing this stuff on the discussion page. Your e-learning is your test, which officially unlocks right after class. So those of you who have finished the book, you're welcome to take the test. Now, heads up, the test is long. It's like 35 questions. Also, heads up, the test is fairly easy if you read the book. So my goal was not to completely torment you. As long as you read it, it should not be over a lot hot. It's got like 5 short answer and then some multiple choice and a bunch of matching and stuff like that. And I think my goal is to not torment you completely, but we'll find out. Maybe I lost out on that one. And then we are done with gospel after today, and we move on to new book next week. So you will need to bring book back next week. I will take book from you, and then you will get a chance to get new book. Hi, Owen. We're going to talk about that today too. I can't get it all in one moment. I have to spread it out over the course of the class period. Your audio keeps breaking like an uncooked piece of spaghetti. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I kept trying to get different audio to try and make things better. That's the drawback to being on virtual, I guess. I don't know. I don't hate you guys, but apparently technology does. All right. So there, rock. Again, I sent this out to you guys on a Remind, which apparently some kids got and some kids didn't, because some kids have deleted Remind or Remind hates you. I don't know. If you don't have this schedule and you want it, you can always send me a message and I'll reply to you. But aren't we done with that schedule? No, same schedule next week. We're doing it all over again, except with math tests. So just keeping you in the loop on that one for those of you who are super excited. We go right back to Monday, Tuesday, normal, Wednesday, Thursday, I learn math test. Then the week after that, we go back to being somewhat normal. And again, Friday for you guys is normal. You have e-learning just like you have every day. Don't think that we gave you a day off because any adult cares about you just because you spent several hours crying yourself to sleep in iLearn. And of course, those of you who are virtual kids, you guys get the double joy of coming in for 8 hours of testing, because I think they're doing all of your English and math into one big thing. So if you're a virtual kid coming in for your test, I highly recommend.
No, it's 2 separate ones.
And cry and just fill the cup with your tears. And then that way, when you get done and you start to pass out, you can splash yourself in the face with your own tears to wake you back up. At least that would be my recommendation to you. Let's see, books. We already tortured the one kid who needs to do the book thing. As far as this thing goes, up there, speed-wise, yeah, Amanda, you still have the record. I would say that you're not going to get beat, but I didn't think 12 seconds was going to get beat. And now 12 seconds is the slowest time. And for those of you who are trying to compare it to previous years, the best times were like in the 18, 19. I think we had a couple of kids get down to maybe the 13, 15 second range. So overall, even our slowest kid this year is faster than previous years. So you have that going for you. We're not giving you guys a chance to beat it today because of our weird shorter class periods. But those of you who want to beat it, you will get the chance again next week to beat it if you are wanting. And then I will be rearranging all the stuff up there. Eventually, once I have kids who stop trying to beat it, then I will be giving presents to all the kids who are officially on the wall up there. So all of my official ones. Plus, I'll be taking a picture and using it to taunt the kids next year. So you guys will be getting a chance to live in infamy to torture future children and stuff like that. So hopefully that helps you out on that one. And several of you only have to beat 30 seconds. For those of you who are freaking out and thinking 5 seconds is impossible, it may be, but that's only for like the 5 of you who've already gone. The others of you, you only have to beat 30 seconds, which is quite doable. Heck, Amanda could do it 6 times in 30 seconds. So you should be fine. I mean, I'm not real good at math, but I can do that much math. Evan, I don't know if they are or why I'm agreeing. So let's go with no, but that was a good try. I'm assuming you mean the highlighter mafia. Those kids are sneaky. All right, let's see. We're going to talk about gospel stuff so we can spend as much time yelling at each other as possible. Playlist. I'm officially grading it tomorrow. So if you've not done it yet, I figured the same thing. But one, you should have most of it done because you work together in the classroom to yell at each other. If not, and some of you only got through 1 or 2 of them, congratulations, you gave yourself more homework. But I will be going through and taking a look at all that tomorrow. That is my Friday e-learning, as much as replying to kids who are freaking out on the gospel test because I probably made mistakes because I'm human, is going through and reading all of your guys' comments and the songs you guys listed and stuff like that. So from there, and again, make sure you've done the whole 2 responses thing. And so as long as you have it done, then you should be good to go. Then after Friday, I'll start counting them absent or late or whatever it is from there. What's that? Sure, but you should have your own. I mean, don't copy and paste their whole thing. But if you want to steal their song and then have your own idea to go along with it, sure, that's fine. I figured many of you guys would do that. You just have to be able to explain it in your own words. I was playing the sermon. I am making that extra credit because of everything you guys have going on this week and all the other stuff happening. I figure there's a lot going on. Some of you like to complain, and you have a lot of things in your heart that you need to unleash fury about. So because of that, the sermon is right up your alley. You can just go ahead and make it rain extra credit. How much extra credit? Haven't decided yet. I'm going to wait to see how many kids do it and how well they do with it. With it, you can still make it anonymous because I've had kids make, let's say, you can. You just have to email it to me. It can't be anonymous to me because then how am I going to give you points? I mean, technically it could be anonymous, but then you can't get any extra credit. If you like make up your own website address, like anonymous kid period 3, and then just send it to me, sure, but I won't know who you are. But that sounds interesting. But yes, to make it anonymous, you just send the email to me and then I will post it for you for other kids to read and stuff like that. That is completely up to you. I don't care about your phone number. Good question. That's why there's directions. Tyler, good question. That's why there's directions. And so on there, it'll go through there. So I hope that the directions might not be there as much as on the sermon, on the discussion page where it has all the directions. Sometimes it helps if you make an angry face and it helps get out all the angry bits that are inside. Some of you are really good at angry face. But yeah, I look forward for those of you who write the sermon to reading about what you guys have to do. Any questions as far as sermons or angry faces go? And yay. And let's talk about Did Kid. So the tie I wore for you guys yesterday and today for 4th period and for 3rd period is my Gospel According to Larry tie. My question is, why would this be my Gospel According to Larry tie? And if you've not read the whole book, it means nothing to you. Now, what is the tie? Looking at the tie, what's on it? Good job. People who are bicycling. Now, given it was not easy for me to come up with a connection, so this is what I was going with. Hang on a second. All right, good. So here's from there, Evan.
Okay. Larry on bike. Larry run. Larry change clothes. Throw clothes over water. Pretend to kill himself.
Well, we're going to call him Josh, but yes. But you're on the right track. Yes. The whole idea is when he does the whole pseudo-side, fake committing of suicide, and then changes his name to Gil Jackson. That was him whole. He faked his death using the bike. And so I was trying to figure out what tie I could use to connect to gospel. And I was like, ooh, he fakes his death using a bicycle. I'll make the connection there. Did you have more to yell at me about, Amanda? That was what I was going for on that. All right. So that was my whole connection as far as the gospel and the tide and the whole bicycling deathy thing. All right. So now, talking things about book. There are things I want to ask you and talk about first. Then I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to have other questions that come up. So here's my first question to you. For those of you who are finished, or as far as you are into the book, I'm going to have you think for a moment, and then by a show of hands, going one way or the other, and then your out loud thoughts. So my question is, do you think Josh is a good person? In your opinion, would you say that yes, overall, everything he did, good or bad? Those of you who are doing your wishy-washy in the middle things, pull up your big kid pants and pick a stance. Yes, I'm aware that everybody's in the middle because, yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. So if you had to pick one way or the other. So those of you, if you thought about it, figure out where you are. Those of you who say Josh is a good person, raise hand. He is a good human being. Those of you who say, no, he's a bad person, and me no likey him. All right. Then my question being, one way or the other, Defend your thinking. Why is Josh good or bad? Zimmy?
He didn't tell anybody he was Larry because he just wanted the best for everybody, and like he just wanted to speak his mind without people judging him for who he is, and he wasn't trying to commit any crimes or anything.
So does that make him good or bad?
Good.
Just check and make sure. All right, Amanda?
First of all, he did commit crime. He did look at his dad's top secret portfolio with all the,
Oh, whatever.
things in there. So that's technically not a crime. But along with that, his message is good. I'm not saying that his message is bad, but the fact is that he ended his dad's business possibly. And
No, he does. We'll find out more about that later.
yeah, he kind of ended his dad's business. And also, he kind of, just by saying, oh, the consumer is bad, the amount of economy that he probably took out probably probably did something bad to the economy. And although his message was good, if we were to just get rid of like all business everywhere, then we would, most of us don't know how to hunt or to survive without it. So he's like saying we should just all live in the woods and sing Kumbaya by the fire. The amount of us who would die by doing that far outweighs. So I think that outweighs.
Wow, that was quite the journey you took us on, from the fact that he ruined the economy to us all being cavemen again. That was quite the journey. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ava?
His dad ended his own career by being an alcoholic.
I think she means Peter, not the alcoholic one. Okay, because Peter's not the alcoholic.
I don't.
I mean, he did start drinking, but go ahead.
And even though he like hid out of his cave, a lot of people do that. And a lot of people like.
How many people do you know that hide out in caves?
Maybe you mean metaphorically?
No,
No? Okay.
I'm just showing what this one dude he just lives in a cave.
Okay, but that one guy. Okay, that's on TV.
And then
I'm confused. Are you saying he's good or bad?
good.
Okay, I was just making sure we're on the same page. All right, that's
But
good.
like she did say she wanted to die.
Okay.
Yes, she did. Oh my god. Look, we all had to look in a secret.
Yeah.
I posted it on the internet. So it's like,
All right, hang on. Down, angry children. I agree, the children are confusing, but that's just how they are. Jagger,
Okay, so one, he committed a crime.
hang on. What crime are you saying he committed?
He like looked at his dad's classified files and posted them on the internet.
And part of it, it's really more of a wishy-washy kind of crime. It's more of an immoral thing than it is like a prosecuting kind
He
of
also
What do you mean?
destroyed his dad's business and
So?
probably a lot of the economy.
Okay.
And the biggest one, he's a vegetarian.
Oh, he's a vegetarian?
Oh,
He's a bad
Preach.
He does come out and say that he's a vegetarian at the very beginning, but so is Beth, and we'll come back to that.
He said he wanted to jump on Beth. Yeah,
He is very fond of Beth. There are definitely some, well, he's a teenage boy. They have issues. And so he's writing it from his viewpoint, and he lets you in on his issues. All right. Shaver.
So I agree with you. Yes, people live in caves. Because me, I can stay in my room for like an entire day and be fine. So technically it's a cave because I have all my lights off and like I have blackout curtains. So I just live in the dark. I think that's an issue. But you know, so but laws, you know, I mean, break the law. I mean, I guess. I mean, prison, okay, whatever.
He's a minor, right?
Legally murder you. Yeah, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. But also, I literally hate you because why?
No! Hang on.
Josh,
I think you don't need to move.
I don't want to think about it. Why is your isolating up? Literally, like, stop. Your child is gone.
All right. Why do you think I'm also moving them? I didn't say it's just you, boo-boos. And Evan.
No, they all brought up really good points. And I was going to add something on. Then everybody said
are you sure you don't want to agree to the mafia terms and conditions?
Tyler.
So really, at the end of the day, I mean, sure he's done some bad stuff, but I mean, come on, who has? So, I mean, if you look back at the end of the day and you say, well, I did these for good reasons, like he stole his dad's file shirt for the reason he wanted. He did it, but well, I mean, sometimes there's good and bad consequences to everything. So I mean, like, so what if it was bad?
He stole and posted the files because they were connecting to advertising that was coming up that he was trying to go against. And that was his idea of putting it out there.
I like it because he doesn't want to be.
Then, all right, let's jump topics. I want to shift to a different person. Apparently, we're done attacking Josh at the moment. So now think about Beth. I'm going to ask you the same question. Beth. So same question is, do you think of Beth as good? Now, part of it is, those of you who have not gotten to end of book, that might impact your thinking because of things that Beth does later, but that's the choices we make. So from here, those of you who say Beth is good person, raise hand. Wow. Those of you who say Beth is a bad person, raise hand. Wow. Really? Okay, not the way I thought that was going to go. So with those of you saying Beth is a bad person, I'm definitely looking for your thinking on that one. Andrew?
She's such a loser. Like,
okay.
One person would leave their friend multiple times for this dude who is obviously an idiot. She's such an idiot. Literally everything.
Again.
Yeah, she's a total Andrew.
The books every time. She's like, oh, he won't cheat on me this time, or he won't be
I mean, he never cheated on her. They weren't dating. He just used her. But that's now it was more for those of you who study science, it was a symbiotic relationship. She was using him to move up the popular ladder. He was using her to get things cleaned around the house. And so that's sort of like the alligator and the little bird that sits in the mouth and pecks at the food to help it out. She was the little bird pecking at the alligator mouth, and he was the alligator. And they get along really well. So, I mean, you can't yell at the bird because it's pecking out the crumbs. And the other bird's like, why don't you come into my alligator? It's just plus.
I'm not understanding.
I'm not good at science. I don't know much about symbiosis. I just know how to make an alligator mouth and a bird pecking thing. But also, she's human. Teenage girls, like teenage boys, are idiots and make poor choices. So it seems like a lot of your arguments against them are like, they're human like me. Yeah, humans are idiots.
She keeps dissing Joshua.
Kayla.
I think she's a good person, but she keeps going back to God for validation in her life. She needs some more support.
Way to support her, Layla. Down, angry, yelly children. All right, from there. My goal is, by the way, those of you who have not spoken yet, I try to jump to you first because some people like to talk almost as much as me. So I try to rotate as much. Brady.
I think if she needs the validation and she needs all of that help, there's therapy.
True, but also back when this was happening, therapy was not nearly as widespread and mental health was not considered as much of a big thing. So back then, there wasn't as much of a therapy thing that you could go to. But true, but I don't know if therapy gives you the validation of being popular, which is what she wanted. And for those of you who are attacking her for being popular, that's a you choice. She made a her choice. Jagger.
Okay, so I have two really good reasons. So one, I'm just going to start off with the worst reason. She's a vegetarian. And also, she broke the law, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Didn't she like steal her sister's ID or something to get a tattoo?
She got the tattoo, and I'm not sure that's fully illegal. That's more than 18. True, but I don't think she got that either. All right, so you guys are really going on this whole breaking the law thing. Zimmerman? Right. Well, it was a platonic friendly cuddle.
She was like, he was like playing with her hair hair and everything.
It was a friendly platonic hair playing. Platonic means where there is no winky winky, no Zeusy, just that, that friendshipy type thing. Right. So that was the whole idea, that she was having a friendship with him and he was having I want more than friendship thing, and it didn't go the way. Now also part of it is you're seeing this through Josh's viewpoint. That whole, he wanted to remain anonymous because as soon as you know who it is, you filter everything through him. And so you're seeing this through Josh's eyes. And he was the guy that was upset that she left him for Todd Terrific. I'm sure if she wrote a story, it would be seen completely differently. Joey?
She's so not smart.
I mean, she was kind of genius.
She's using somebody, but does she not realize she's getting used more than the What are you scrolling?
I was checking a thing. Then hang on, jump it. So Beta Gold?
No.
Is she at least a good person? Okay. So I thought maybe, Beta Gold again.
Beta Gold person.
Well, okay. With Beta Gold, realized she did not know it was a 17-year-old boy. All she had was an address and a name. Because when she showed up with the press, she thought she was showing up like Peter, like it was some old guy that lived there. She did not know she was, because all she was able to get was a name and an address. And then she shows up and it's like, oh no, it turns out to not be that. So that's what kind of threw her off. And again, I think you're seeing everything through Josh's viewpoint, but hang on. Jay?
She said after suicide, she said Beta Gold said that her outing Josh as Larry was like her gift from the cosmos or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah. She kind of really enjoyed the celebrity that went along with it. She actually went out and did book deals and stuff later. Speaking of which, before I forget, there is a second book that he ended up doing, before I forget about it, called Vote for Larry. Home Children called Vote for Larry. And so he disappeared. At the end of this, he got the book published, and then he didn't want money from it. He was like, I want my stuff out there, and then disappeared again. Beth ended up tracking him down a couple of years later, and she and him got, not still platonically, but they got back together friendship-wise, and so things were not completely ruined. She ended up talking him into running for president. The thing was, back when it happened, the reason it was not a big deal was he was too young to be president. You have to be 35 years old to be president. He didn't hit 35 until just a couple of years ago. But you don't have to be 35 to run for president. You have to be 35 to get elected president. So what he ended up doing was, she convinced him that his issues were still important, and that he had to go out and run for president to make people confront those issues and to get kids excited. So that was about his presidential run that he did, called Vote for Larry. They have copies in library, by the way. I have one copy for those of you who have finished book, if you are interested and want to find out more about what happened. It also tells you with Peter ended up quitting that job and ended up becoming like a farmer and a full-on hippie. And then going out, he gave up that whole money thing and went the complete opposite direction. This was also the research where you find out more about Beta Gold and her son, who worked for a tech company, and that's how she was able to track him down, was through her son, all this information that went into it, stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that before I forgot overall. The other bad news is class is almost over. And so I'm going to have to let you guys go here in just a second. This is where I really hate this year.
That's bad news.
Multiple days to go through and talk about things with you. We'll talk about it a little bit next week, but we start new book next week because we're running out of time and only have a handful of days left together. Sadness. See you guys later. Run away. You're going to 5th period. Period 5.
Agree to terms. Agree to terms. Agree.
I'm going to go, no, you are not signing my soul.